Life seems to move at a million miles an hour sometimes, and I think it's difficult to keep in mind how awesome it is to be alive, how unique the experience itself is, how many decisions that we actually have that we can make and have the freedom to make. I was watching a movie with a good friend of mine a couple days ago called Predestined, and obviously time travel movies will always make you think about your past and future in ways that I think it's actually beneficial. You know, I look for new things to think about all the time, so I can consistently tackle new problems and come up with these cool videos. But it got me thinking. You know, it was a lot of thinking back to my childhood and coming to terms with some of the things that have happened. Obviously, maybe not obviously, but I've come to terms with probably most of the stuff that's happened in my life. But what I haven't done is really appreciate the things that I've gone through in my life. You know, like in short bursts, sure, through conversations, through reflection, yeah, like I can certainly see the importance of certain events in terms of forming what I like to think is a good person. But only now do I really realize how necessary those things actually were in the formation of this persona, right? I think it's very important to realize that any difficulties or any heartaches or any unforeseen circumstances that come up in life, when they push you, when they test you, in the moment it's terrible. In the moment it feels like, why me, right? But later on, you'll realize, hopefully, if you use that moment as a growth experience, as something to actually think about and make yourself into a better person, you realize that almost every single one of those events is going to be something that made you into a stronger person, someone that's able to more easily understand when you see a kid on Broad Street in Philadelphia riding their bike through a red light. Right, you can assume that kid's stupid, or you can probably pretty easily put together that kid's probably going through some shit, you know. But that's the difference. You have to have struggled in your life and to come to terms with the struggle in order to be compassionate about when other people are struggling, and really knowing when to, or how even to comfort them, right? Now that's a retrospective look. That's something that says, hey, you know, be grateful for your experiences, sure. But in a more optimistic sense, right? Every single moment from this point on, whenever you're watching this, is going to be something phenomenal. Neil deGrasse Tyson said that the greatest time in our life when we were lucky was the instant we were born. That was when our odds were the worst. And I always thought that was like just a fascinating way to look at things, because it's a gift to be alive, technically. Really, really it is. And sometimes we can lose sight of that, right? We can be like, you know, I've been grinding through the same thing every day. I've been doing the same stuff for fun. I'm sick and tired of XYZ things. Sure. Spend some time to realize that this life is short, and it's actually incredibly beautiful by virtue of the choices that we have to make. And that certain things can sometimes feel like they're disconnected from this, from what your life is. But if we see it as a story, if we see it as a film, a book, you know, then those are the things that actually make life interesting. The difficult things, the difficult choices that we make, the conscious choices that we make. So give it a thought. You know, think about your past. Try to see if you've really come to terms with the things that have happened to you and the things that you're potentially ashamed of, you know. Tony Robbins said in his little Netflix documentary, he said, you heal the child and out comes the adult, essentially. Try to do that for yourself. I'm a firm believer that the part of us that loves, the part of us that really enjoys things and feels passionate about anything in life is actually partially our younger selves. You know, the souls that we were born with, to a degree. And if we don't consistently try to at least assuage or console that younger part of us, we're gonna have a pretty hard time figuring out how to love the older version of us. Because the older version has a lot of flaws too, right? And flaws that are built up over years that might be a lot more difficult to iron out. One comment isn't just going to throw us into a completely different tangent in life, right? Where it once might have. But I think it's very exciting to consistently realize over some period of time, but to realize really that it's a beautiful life. You know, you have so many opportunities. You have so much potential for love. So much potential to change things if you really set your mind to it, right? Like, choice, freedom. I think that's what humans tend to live for. Purpose. You know, the things that really drive us to make choices that might be better for us in the future. It's well worth thinking about. And the reason that I made this video today is because I was actually running out of ideas for videos in general. And I came to the conclusion that if you want to be someone that has things to talk about, you need to consistently be exposing yourself to new stimuli. Hopefully stimuli that you find interesting and impactful, but really consistently doing new things is going to give you the most new ideas. And it's hard to do sometimes because you want to be comfortable after a long day of work, or maybe you are particularly stressed out in this moment, and if I find you there, I'm sorry, you're going to be fine. It feels like we don't have the time and the resources for novelty. And I think that train of thought will lead to a potentially less diverse life, which in my opinion, I love diversity. I'm a jack of many trades, right? Correct. I like doing lots of different things. And so by virtue of that being my personality, I like also having lots of different stimulus. Obviously, if that's not for you, that's not for you. But if you are someone that likes to think about new things, that likes to have an excitement for life because of the ideas that we're exposed to, I would encourage, go and find new YouTube channels to watch. Go and find new podcasts. Go and talk to new people. Go and new, different, right? We have the choice. We have the choice to do that stuff. And that's the beauty of life. It only gets as boring as we're willing to put up with, essentially. So think about it. Think about how many years potentially you have ahead of you. Maybe hours even. Think about the beauty of those moments. How impactful they can be, how they can literally change lives. Moments could change lives. Literally. Immense power in being a human, in having the choice. And hopefully this video finds you well. I post these more or less every day. Smash that thumbs up for me. She got something out of it. And check out this video. This is a little bit more in depth in some of the character traits that I believe could be beneficial to someone in American society, but probably just human society. That's redundant, but go check it out. And remember to actualize your potential, my friend. This world needs you. Take care.